Hogwarts Legacy is actually out now. It came out on February 10th, 2023. You could play it 72 hours early if you were able to get the deluxe edition that was digital only, which I was actually able to get. It's being reviewed pretty well, I gotta say. It's getting a lot of 8s, it's getting a lot of 9s, it's getting a lot of 10. So I'll just say this right now. I've already beaten it. CN, I would say, is probably more than halfway through the game at this point. It's getting a lot of great praise, and I gotta say, I think this game 100% deserves it. So before we dive into actually what the game's about, what's your first impression of the game? Like, I know we've been waiting. This game has been pushed back. We've all been waiting for it. Now that it's out, how do you like it?
Dude, it's one of the games I love, and I've actually been enjoying it more because me and my wife actually have been playing it together. So she'll take like about an hour or two to play it. I'll play it after her later in the night. But man, this game opens so much possibility, and it opens up the world of Harry Potter and Hogwarts and all that stuff into such an amazing way that it's such a good game, man, and it deserves the praise that it's getting for sure. And I'm actually kind of glad that they pushed it back, because I would be afraid if it came out with any huge errors and people just kind of slammed on it. But so far, man, I've been having a lot of fun. I've been kind of just doing random shit than actually doing the story mode. When I told you where I was at, I was like, I've been lost in doing that stuff compared to the story, but hopefully I get to finish it within the next week. Yeah,
it's one of the crazy things about this game that I think it nails, and I think a lot of us were expecting that it would, is that there's just so much to do. This world is encapsulated with life, side quests, side missions. It's hard to talk to anybody who's pretty much bullying their way through the campaign without taking the time to smell the roses, go to the classes, fight the monsters, go everything. So one of the things I believe IGN had to say was this, and they gave it a 9. It says, Hogwarts Legacy's open world adventure captures all the excitement and wonder of the Wizarding World with its memorable new characters, challenging and nuanced combat, and a wonderfully executed Hogwarts student fantasy that kept me glued to my controller for dozens of hours. And I gotta say, they're not wrong. I didn't check my clock time because I leave my Xbox on, so it's never really accurate. But there's tons to do, and they're not wrong with saying that you can be glued. I mean, I was playing, like, I'm not joking, man. When I was playing it the other day, and I literally started playing in the morning, and next thing I know, 8 hours went by. And I felt like I didn't get anything done. Like, I was still just kind of doing the room of requirement and doing all this other kind of stuff. So I just got to point out, they did find a way to build an excellent, awesome, open world game. Now, it's not as big and sandboxy as, say, like a GTA or a Skyrim, but with that being said, once you look at the map, there's a lot of stuff to do. And even once because I went around and I've hit all the Floo powder locations, which is, if you don't know, that's the fast travel system in this game. Every time I go by it and just zoom in, there's so many icons that I'm passing by. So it's like, the OCD in me wants to stop and and knock them all out. But at the same time, I wanted to kind of get as far as I could to talk about this. The review is right. There's so much content in this. When you go to all these little hamlets, these little towns that they have there, there's people in there. There's people living in there. There's quests to go do stuff with people. The combat, like they said, is fun. It's fluid. The spells that you want to learn, like it's like a hunger. I'm like, you want to get all of them down. So one of the cool things that I was reading is that it actually was the #1 selling, I believe, on Steam as well as the PlayStation Store. So this game is doing very well. The plot summary is, starts in 1899. It's obviously a prequel to any of the Harry Potter series. You're playing as this 5th year who has the ability to see ancient magic, and you're brought to Hogwarts by who's kind of your Dumbledore character, your mentor, who's Professor Fig. And the antagonist of this is this character named Ranrock, who's the leader of the Goblin Rebellion, and he's kind of following the same clues as you. So just on a plot perspective, how did you like that storyline? Because the way I'm looking at this, I'm like, it was a really cool kind of different side from Voldemort, who wants kind of like this genocide and this pure blood, kind of a conglomerate of wizards, versus these guys who are kind of experimenting with ancient magic and kind of the old story. So without giving spoilers away, because it does tie in with your main quest, I mean, how do you like that plot?
I like it a lot, man. And I think it kind of goes into where this game did so well to tell its own story away from like you said, Voldemort or even Grindelwald, if you saw those Fantastic Beasts movies,
Right.
But it tied it in,
Yeah.
where you found out ancestors who might be related to who, and it just
how there's Weasleys and stuff like that, and blacks are in there.
Yeah, and dude, this game was so amazing in connecting the world of Hogwarts and Harry Potter in itself, but created its own story where it wasn't boring, it wasn't repetitive whatsoever. And I'm not fully done like you are in it, but so far I'm kind of glued. Like you said, there's times into where I'm watching something on my phone to kind of keep my pace going into a video game. But this one I'm just paying attention fully, man, because it's opening so much stuff where I'm like, I want to explore this now.
Yeah.
I want to explore this now.
Yep.
But yeah, man, the story itself, I'm giving it for sure a 9 on my end.
Yeah, this was definitely, because again, people know I like to play with a podcast if the game requires, if there's downtime. I just thought this is one of the games I had to stop and put that down, because there's just so many, like even the side mission with the conversations are like, I don't want to miss. Like there's people you can go into, because obviously you get to pick your house. Actually, I didn't ask you this. So you get to pick your 4 houses, obviously. I landed into Ravenclaw. Okay. What did you end up getting?
So I did the whole port key.
Okay.
Before the game came out.
And explain what that was, because I didn't do that. So okay. what was that?
So you can download. There's a game that my wife plays. It's like a Harry Potter game too. It's like a pay as you go kind of thing.
Like a mobile game.
Yeah, mobile game. I forgot what it's called, but there's a website, the Wizarding website, that you go and you can actually get house before you actually play the game. And I did it. And it gave me fucking Gryffindor. Dude, and I'm not a noble person.
Yeah, you're not brave. You're not
I'm not noble. So as soon as the game came out, I was kind of glad it steered away from asking you questions and it just let you pick the house that you wanted to play. So I picked Slytherin.
There you go.
What other house are you going to pick? So I picked Slytherin. That's the house that I'm at. But it kind of has the Diablo vibes, where it gives you 4 different characters that you can create later on and play all houses if you want. But for now, I'm finishing it for Slytherin, for sure.
Yeah, I believe one of the achievements is to get to the chamber map, which is a place you'll learn in the game, as each house. So it kind of encourages you to experiment with everybody. And I would say try it, too. I was almost going to start another character the other day, because I want to see all the dormitories. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I right now I'm in Ravenclaw, and via the movies, we've seen a lot of the Gryffindor stuff, but like, Dante, I think, is playing Hufflepuff, and he's like,
he looks like
and you see them all in the trailers, but like it looks like the Shire, like the Hobbits and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's really really cool to incorporate. So there's just a couple of things I kind of wanted to talk about, as quickly as we can, and then we'll move on. But just talking about the combat, it's fast, it's fluid, but one of the things I would say to not sleep on is the abilities to create potions in your combat, and because there's like, I'm using, that's one of my main moves. I'm using, I think it's called Thunder Brew, and it's the lightning potion. And then you can also use like different types of plants. Like you have the tarantula, and then the Chinese cabbage. And then also eventually you can start using your environment to start, if you're fighting a troll or like a statue, and you knock his sword out of his hand, you can grab it and start throwing it back at him. So how'd you like the way they incorporated all the combat in kind of one fluid motion? Like, I thought that might be the blockiest thing that this game had to offer, and I gotta say, it's probably one of the most fun things to do.
Yeah, it's so funny, man. I saw this guy made a comment, because I play Call of Duty, and right now, before the new update went out, the movement was like just shit, And someone made a comment saying, how is it possible that Hogwarts has better movement than Call of Duty? And I think when I started using the dodging mechanic, where you hold B and then you kind of disappear, you do like a little
that was awesome,
dude. Using that, and then having the ability to switch your sets of combat spells that you have
on the D-pad,
exactly. It's so smooth, so easy to do that, man. It's amazing that this game was able to do, because I was on your aspect too, where I thought it was going to be kind of choppy, having to deal with so many different characters and how you were going to lock into it. But this game kind of, makes it so easy.
Sure. Nice. Because there's one thing. So just kind of some hints, I guess, is if you haven't played it yet, when you get these talent points later on in the game, which is pretty early, you can start plugging them into certain aspects, whether it be stealth, the room of requirement, dark arts, your core. In your core wand, there's an ability to, so your D-pad holds all your 4 main spells, but then you can add another slot. So you can add up to 4 slots to kind of switch through all of them. Dude, I had it all set up too. I had like my combat, I had my blue spells, my Lumos, I had all my way to travel through my dungeon, my utility spells. So in an RPG sense, it made, again, yeah, I'm with you. It made it very fluid. At first, I was like, man, is this going to be a lot to remember? But instantly, I'm like, nope, right is my blues, left is my reds, up is my greens. So, yeah, the combat's extremely satisfying. The other thing I wanted to talk about was just the traveling aspect. It's fun. And eventually, when you get to the point where you can start flying, right? That's going to be an aspect of the game. No spoilers. It is in the trailers. You get access to brooms. You get access to flying creatures. It is amazing. I had a couple people over. Deandra and Melissa were watching me play, and I was just flying on my hippogriff in front of the castle during like Christmas. And I'm like, dude, this looks amazing. And one of the things is once you can start traveling, like I almost didn't want to fast travel as much as I think I was in the beginning because I wanted to pass by things. Yeah. So how do you like the way the world looks and traveling, whether it's in the castle, whether it's Hogsmeade, whether it's the Enchanted, the Forbidden Forest? How did that look for you?
I don't fast travel whatsoever, man.
Oh, yeah,
I
nice.
either fly or use my broom, or I use the Chevy legs, man. Like I just start walking, man, to the beat of my own drum. But the flying is so smooth. I thought it was gonna be choppy too. Like I kind of wonder. I was like, what are they gonna do? Are they gonna do the invert? Like is up gonna be down?
Right.
What are they gonna do with it? But it's just so smooth and it's so satisfying, where you can kind of just go anywhere. And like you said, man, I just don't fast travel because I want to kind of explore everything. And when you sing it from above, the game looks amazing.
Yeah, I want to go down and look at everything, and it's they actually have a good flying mechanic down. It's not only a quick way to stop yourself from going through a boost, but this just simply going up and down with the R stick just to raise your access on it. I'm like, dude, it's just so simple and it's so clean. The other thing I'm going to talk about, and we've already kind of been hinting at it, is the side missions. This is the core of the game. The main mission is fantastic, and I think once you beat it, you're going to go, wow, that was really, really entertaining. But I want to get lost in Hogwarts. I want to be in the world of Hogwarts. I want to be going to Hogsmeade. I want to be going to different parts of the castle, and the side missions let you do that. The side missions not only will give you rewards such as outfits and wand customizations and certain ingredients, but it's just experimenting through the rest of the castle, which leads me into my other part is how cool finding puzzles are in this game. There's points I was running by a bridge and I just noticed that I could light something up and I'm like, well, what's all this about? And I turned back around. I'm like, okay, let's figure this out. So between the side missions and the puzzles, I gotta say, it's a mechanic that's just, I'm not getting tired of it in any way.
Yeah, no, and I feel the same way. There's so many puzzles that you can find in the castle alone compared to just outside.
And then you go outside and you're lost.
Yeah, and I get freaking lost. But there's these puzzles. I don't know if you've seen them. The ones where you have to like kind of add and multiply or whatever.
Yeah, on the left and right side of the door.
Yeah. I tell myself, okay, I'm just going to do this one. And I'm like, well, there's one right by
I'm getting stuck on the butterflies.
Yeah. And I'm like, dude, I said I was going to do this mission, go to sleep. I'll just do one more and then I'll do the mission. And then next thing I know, I'm doing 5.
Yep.
And I'm like, man, it's so addicting. And you know me, I'm a person that just wants to kind of go through the story, play the game, and then just kind of be done with it.
That's exactly how I am.
But this game, man, just kind of keeps kind of derailing me into something else that is kind of wide open. And it's just like, okay, I'm going to do this. And then I'll get back to the game. Yeah. And then I just get lost.
Which I got to say is just a sign of a good game. I mean, I have a few, we can talk about this right now too. I have a couple complaints with it and it's nothing bad. Like there are a couple things, like when I was talking to Fig, some of the lighting was off on his face. And there was one scene, I don't know if I even showed you this shot that I took, a screenshot, where somebody was completely missing out of their cloak. But that's happened so rare for me. And I will say some of their faces look a little off with the eyes. And then I don't think some of the speech matches up 100% with the mouth. But like, if that's my biggest gripe, right? If the combat's excellent, the game looks good, the traveling system is fantastic, the puzzle and side quests are engaging, that I could care less if somebody's missing their hood on in their thing. So did you have any problems or glitches or anything like that? Did you have to restart the game at all?
So you're telling me Natty's lazy eye isn't it?
Well, I think it's part of her build.
No, I think I honestly only had one issue, and it's the one you brought up where like Figs, I think during one mission when he's talking in his desk, right?
Right.
During that, yeah. So the lighting was kind of off, and you can kind of see through him, or
mine was like lighting him up, yeah.
But honestly, other than that, I haven't really kind of dealt with anything crazy.
Good.
So for me,
again, though, we are playing on the Series X, right?
That's true.
Okay,
that's true. So I haven't dealt with anything crazy besides that one part, but everything else, man, it's been running smoothly for me, for sure. But I did hear that some people are having trouble with, like, in their maps, they can't find the troll dens. So when they're trying to find, I think one of the side missions is getting troll bogeys. They can't find the troll dens on when they find it. But luckily there was a couple of, like, goblin dens that you can go, and they either have, like, a troll on hold or in captive that you can kind of fight and get that. But I did see that some people were having trouble with that.
Well, yeah, I would say, now that you mentioned that, one of the other big issues I had that was more kind of gameplay related was there'd be times when I would go to re-click a mission and the line went, because one of the things that I love is that it gives you a direct path on how to get somewhere.
Yeah.
And there was a couple missions I would click it and there would be nothing there to show me how to get there, and I'm like, okay, so that was a little frustrating. But again, though, I think this game is fantastic. I would say, I would point out though, because I didn't know this at first, so hints and tips if you guys aren't this far yet, is there's a lot of loot to drop. You're going to find this a lot. It's like Borderlands at sometimes where you're getting so much stuff and you're constantly changing up your guys' look. And I didn't like that. I didn't like that. I'm like, I want to be able to look the way I want to look, but not lose any of the power. So later on, or at least maybe in the beginning, check on the appearance on X button when you're over the square. And you can keep the look of anything you've already collected. Yeah. So you can go back and look however you want to look, A. And B is if you feel like you're getting way too much items, and because there's no storage locker. There's nowhere to put gear because it lets you keep the look. Do the Merlin challenges. The Merlin challenges will unlock storage systems in your thing. It'll open up more gear boxes for you. So that way you can go and carry more stuff. Because there was tons of times in the beginning of the game where I'm like, dude, I have all my 8 slots are full. Like, I can't keep getting it. I'm like, I don't want to keep running back to Hogsmeade, and I don't know what to sell. So once I kind of stumbled upon that, I'm like, oh, cool. Just go knock out 3 Merlins as early as you can. That gives you like 12 more boxes. And then sell your stuff, because you're going to be able to keep the way the item looks, and then go buy stuff that you actually really need.
Yeah, and claim your rewards.
Don't forget that. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, you'll have challenges. Claim the rewards, because if you don't claim them, you won't get them. But they change the appearances of your clothes. So you might have a shirt or a cloak that you don't like, but you can change the appearance and make it look better.
Yeah.
So just make sure you guys are actually clicking and getting those challenges and rewards, because that's actually how you also upgrade your Merlin to get more into your pack. So.
Excellent. Yeah. So that's probably all I'd have to say. Is what I have to say. Is there anything else you want to add on Hogwarts Legacy?
No. Yeah, we're good.
Awesome. So guys, let us know if you're playing it, and let us know what you think about it. And again, don't let any of the controversy surrounding the game stop you from enjoying a good game made by a solid studio that gives you tons of fun. If you like Harry Potter and you like being in that world, then just buy the game, play it, and have as much fun with it as you can. And don't let any of the nonsense surrounding it affect your fun of the game. So I'll leave it at that.